I'm going to take you on a journey into the future. But to do that well, for us to truly appreciate the potential of new frontiers, the challenges, even our responsibility as they're created, let's first just take a quick step into the past. The date is October 26, 1985. Now, I think one of the greatest futurists of our time, Dr. Emmett Brown, he predicted what life would look like in the next 30 years with the infamous words, roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and all you fellow Gen Xers in the room today, we are in the DeLorean. We're fast forwarding to 2015, when my generation was introduced to the art of the technologically possible with Back to the Future. It was a vision of flying cars and self-tying sneakers and hoverboard travel. Now, admittedly, we're not quite flying around in cars just yet. But a lot of what Doc Brown predicted in his future has foreshadowed an era of automation, which will be very familiar to all of us. He had drone technology that walked the dog, digital drive-through restaurants, wearable tech, early prototype virtual reality, and video communication. Now, those things don't just feel familiar to us all. They are embedded into life already. They're embedded into how we live our lives in a more convenient, go-to convenience and efficient way. But what Marty McFly and Doc Brown maybe failed to anticipate about their future was the impact. The impact that this autonomous innovation, as it continues to scale, that it might have on the future digitally native generations. Now, by that I mean our children, their children. I mean the current and the future generations who are born into a wholly digital, immersive, and increasingly artificially intelligent world. AI is their normal. They won't know anything different, and their lives will be different from anything that's come before it. And that can be hard for us to really wrap our heads around sometimes. Just like it was back in 1985 to find out what virtual reality could even become. So why don't we take a look? I mean, we're in this DeLorean, right? It'd be an absolute shame if we didn't use it. So buckle up, everybody. We are headed into the future. And we're landing in the year 2050. It's a regular school day, so we're all waking up early to an alarm that's programmed with some far-off, distant relation to any Alexa or Siri that we may have known before that. Our watches, our glasses, even a brain-computer interface will map out our schedule and will track our daily activities, probably calculating our energy consumption as we go. When we choose what we want for breakfast, well, we're going to do that from an AR hologram. And everything we choose, its nutritional value, is going to be mapped against our unique personal body composition so that at any point in the day we will know just what side of healthy we are on. When the kids go out to school, well, guess what? It's been a number of years already at this point that there's probably not even a teacher in the lesson. They'll be learning with a combination of AI companions and chatbots. And they'll be looking through spatial technology to explore and travel and learn in ways that our education just didn't even touch the sides. After school, kids are still going to be kids. They're going to want to hang out, right? And they'll do that. But guess what? They're going to do it virtually. They're going to do it as avatar forms of themselves. And they're going to play and hang out and speak with their friends in a series of virtual, hyper-connected worlds. And they'll do that in any language in real time. Life in 2050 is going to be served up to us in these convenient chunks of data and information and recommendations and preferences. There'll be little for the kids to think about maybe for themselves at all. But I mean, gosh, if I was a child growing up in a time like that, it would sound pretty awesome. But is it? Is it awesome? Let's just think about that in real-world terms as adults today. Now, as a real avid futurist, I am super excited about everything that AI will bring for our future. Its potential to solve poverty and disease and elevate medicine and environmental issues. But we do have to look closely at how technology and AI will evolve in our everyday lives as well. How it will impact the here and now. Beyond those big ticket items, if we allow our lives to continue to be managed and self-managed by our devices and our gadgets, well, we could lose the ability to think for ourselves. And that could have long-term repercussions on us physiologically and psychologically. And then there's work. We're already seeing this flow through of early automation across industry. The rise in home working is making us use and think and even design our homes, the places that we live in a very different manner. And then guess what? We surround ourselves with even more technology to find more of that precious asset of time, to better strike the work-life balance. And there's a knock-on effect add into then the demise of the city. There's less people around, and so retail is impacted. Hospitality is impacted. Our real estate is underutilized. We even use our transport in a very different way and different pattern. And so we start to see this news of waves of job losses and layoffs. Technology is changing who and how we are as people. It isn't going to replace us, but we do need to learn to adapt and change to these new environments and plan ahead for the future so that we don't feel that we're at its mercy. But who exactly is responsible for making it right at the end point? Do we expect the creators of the technology to have all of the answers for us? Do we need that from our governments and politicians? Or are we just happy to stand by the sidelines and see what happens and figure it out as we go? It reminds me of the great book by the author Mo Gauda. He's the former chief business officer at Google X. And in his book, Scary Smart, he talks about all those great things that AI will do for our future. But he also really dutifully calls out the importance of civic society. That's us, all of us in this room today. The role that we have in ensuring that a new era of AI is one that is better for us all. It enables something better for our futures. It's not something that happens to us. He asks us to be individually accountable for our next 30 years. And so if we do that, if we think now and we act ahead and we know what the repercussions could be, then unlike Marty McFly and Doc Brown, we can make a difference for our children that we're happy with. We can create a future for them that we know that we want to have. Well, what could that be? What could we do? Well, here we are in 2050. So all of you Gen X and Gen Y adults here today, you're probably now somewhere between 55 and 75 or 80 years old. But don't worry, what you bring to the 2050 table is a very unique wisdom. Think about it. You've already lived through a series of huge technological revolutions. The internet, the rise of the smartphone, electric cars. We've even put civilians into space travel. Your wisdom knows the difference between life before and after machine. So you've seen the dark side as well. The problems with online safety, the pitfalls of deep fake and fraud and poor digital literacy. But you've also really learned to appreciate at this stage the importance of data privacy and cybersecurity. So your wisdom understands not just life before and after machine, it understands the importance of human, the importance of creating human connections, building relationships, having this strong sense of moral purpose, even just nurturing happiness. Your wisdom will be the differentiator which will help your children coming into the future. And we know that we need it. We know that we need it because just walk down your local high street, sit in your local coffee shop, look in the mirror, how quickly we're getting addicted to our smartphones. So much of what we do starts in the palm of our hand. Our human problem solving and reasoning is shifting away very slowly for data-driven recommendations that can very oftentimes subliminally influence our thoughts. And the more time that we spend online, well, the more distance we're creating between people. So we lose that physicality, that ability to read the room, to know when there is an emotional need, to give someone a hug when they need to be consoled. And yet here we are, surprised at the growing issue of youth loneliness, and we're watching as the global mental health crisis gets worse and worse. There are just some fundamentals that humans in society need to succeed, and they're changing. But that doesn't mean we need to fail in a future. It just means we need to be much more integrated and much more involved. And it's going to take a village to do that. It's going to take a collaboration of people from all walks of life to come together with their input to influence what will happen in the future. So I have two very clear calls to action for everyone. The first is to our educators, so our teachers, the academics, our parents and our grandparents. The future of education will be transformed for our children. It will be for the better. It will reach children in corners of the world that normally could not get access to a great education. But your job is to make sure that the human skills are not traded for technology. You need to go beyond the screen time conversation at the dinner table. You need to look closely at the social skills of your children as more and more technology folds into their lives. We used to call that soft skills. Empathy, critical thinking, creativity, communication. Well, that's becoming more important than ever in a world that's enabled by technology. In fact, we should be reframing them as strong skills. Because the future workforces and leaders, they're going to need to tap into strong human interpersonal skills more than ever before. And in an environment enabled with technology around us for everything that we do, that is anything but soft. Your job is to reshape the perspective of those skills, and individually, from home through school through to early employment, nurture them and treat our strong skills in the way that we would technical skills. My second call to action is to the leaders. Business leaders, political leaders, societal leaders. The workplace is changing, and really rapidly. In 2019, the OECD made a very bold forecast. They said that by 2040, 14% of the world's jobs would be eliminated as a result of automation technology. And another 32% would be very seriously impacted. Now, rolled up, that impacts over 1 billion people around the world. It's getting worse with the surgence of generative AI that we've seen in the last 12, 18 months. The average half-life of skills right now is less than 5 years, and in some tech fields it is as low as 2.5 years. So our collective responsibility is to look at the future of work now. We need to make those changes. We need to think about new jobs, job descriptions, training, how we transition the existing workforces into a new world, salaries, and budgets to make sure that we can make it happen. Reskilling has become the business imperative, not an HR project. Because if we fail to do this, well, quite simply, we will leave millions of people without meaningful work and meaningful income. And those millions of people include you and I. It includes people that we know and people that we love. So as you ponder what you can individually, for your immediate family, do to contribute to some change, I'm afraid I have some disappointing news. It's time to give back this DeLorean. But before we leave and go back to life as we know it today, let's take one last close look at what we've succeeded and created in 2050. So close your eyes. Imagine we're at the end of this race to adapt to AI and automation. We've invited everybody around the campfire. Your children, their children, your families, because we committed as a generation, remember, to make their lives better. How good did we deliver on that promise? Did we give them those crucial strong skills that we knew they needed? Was education better? Did we create those jobs that we knew needed to be changed? Maybe even more importantly, what will our children say to us? Will they be thankful for the opportunities that we created? Or will they ask us, why did we wait? As you settle back into life as you know it today, just know that the role of Generation X in a future of AI is not just an option. It is absolutely our responsibility. But also know that your experience, your wisdom, will make a significant difference in the future of your children. AI is going to happen with us or without us. We can stand by the sidelines and watch that happen. We can feel like we don't have a voice. We can feel powerless. We can even wait or hope that someone else will make it all right. But any of those choices would be full of regret. So in the words of my good friend Doc Brown, great Scott, wouldn't it just be great if we could create a future of AI that is just as great for the future of humans as well? Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Whew. How did she do that? What a brilliant brain you have.